I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all churched out, hurt and abused. I can't fake what's left to do. Come on. Truth is I'm weak, no strength to fight, no tears to cry. Even if I tried, but still my soul refuses to die. One touch will change my life. Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart's torn in pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne. Leave me there alone to gaze upon your glory and sing to you this song.
Marriage isn't always perfect, but healing is always possible. Welcome to Let the Healing Begin with your hosts, Apostles Lee and Kimberly Thomas. This podcast tackles real-life issues with raw truth and a powerful his and her perspective. We talk marriage, we talk sex, we talk loss, love, and relational challenges couples don't always say out loud. If you're ready for honest dialogue, faith-filled insight, and a practical wisdom that restores connection and strengthens your marriage, you're in the right place. Come, journey with us as we let the healing begin.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Let the Healing Begin. We are your hosts, Apostles
Lee
and Kimberly Thomas, and we are so glad that you have joined us tonight as we are here to endeavor to bring you real, raw, true conversation about marriage and the things that many married couples do not want to talk about. So, tonight we are going to journey on a real journey tonight. To talk about a hot topic. But we want to put this disclaimer out there. We do not claim to have mastered this thing called marriage, nor do we have the monopoly on marriage. But what we do have is a marriage. We have time, we have experience, and most of all, we have a mandate from God to share our experiences with others who are journeying on this thing called life in a marriage. So tonight, we are going to talk about the subject of you love each other, but you cannot communicate. So we came with a question tonight. What if healing begins with one honest
word
conversation?
that starts with if we could communicate,
Yes.
if we would listen, if we put all our differences aside. What if healing begins with one conversation?
One honest conversation. We have counseled many married couples. And in those counseling sessions, we hear more than anything that we can't have a conversation because the conversations always end up in an argument. And so when we hear these things, many times the woman's point of view is, I'm trying to share my feelings, I'm trying to share my ideas, I'm trying to give my insight, but I feel like he doesn't want to hear me or he doesn't care.
it's not that from a man's point of view that I don't want to hear and I don't care. It's that if we already been in heated fellowship and we're trying to clear the air, if you will, you go your way, I'm gonna go my way. I'm in here in my area, whatever you watching TV, and I got a program that I'm really getting into. And in the midst of that program, when it's really getting good, and you hear me laughing and enjoying myself, we need to talk. We need to talk. About what?
Yes.
We don't need to talk, not right now. And that's part of it right there because you aggravated. I'm not aggravated anymore. I'm good at this point. So now I'm not trying to hear what you're trying to say. And I know you really trying to tell me something because you know what? I'm upset. That's the way the man see it. So if I'm upset, you need to be upset.
And that's true.
Really? Really?
That's true. Because a lot of times when you really think about it, when you're aggravated and the other individual is not aggravated, you really can't comprehend that. Now, we were in heated fellowship and you have pushed all the right buttons and now I am really and truly aggravated. So now I want you to be aggravated as well. I don't want you to be calm. It's just like the saying misery loves company. So
Yeah.
if I'm mad, you need to still be mad too because we have not resolved this. And many times what happens is a lot of times the reason for the heated fellowship in the beginning is the fact that truth has been spoken. And
It's offensive.
it's very offensive. People don't like to hear the truth, especially if you're telling me something and I know it to be true. I don't want to hear that from you at this moment. I don't want you to tell me this. Just be quiet. Just don't say nothing. Leave me alone. And so that's where a lot of this comes in. That's where a lot of it comes in because of the simple fact that here you are and we have tried to have this conversation.
Uh-huh.
And because of our feelings and our differences, because one thing that I want us to understand as men and women in relationships and in marriages, we hear differently. We hear totally different
I agree.
because he may be saying to me, I want to be the one, I'm the head, so let me run this like this, or this is the way we're going to do this. But because I have my own ideas, I have my own identity, I have my own feelings, what I'm hearing you say is shut up, and my voice does not matter. So we hear very differently. And that's what we have to understand as married couples. We hear different. Men hear different from women, and women hear different from men because we hear something that the man may not have said, but
Uh-huh.
because of our feelings, and when your feelings get involved, you get to be a whole mess. I heard you tell me to shut up, and you didn't say shut up outright, but basically, you telling me you the man and we gonna run it this way and this is how it's gonna be. So basically, what I just said to you, you just basically kicked it out the window, and all I could hear was just shut up.
But see, that's the thing. On the other side of that stratosphere, when the woman tells you, I'm done, I'm through, that's the same thing. Shut up. My feelings don't count at that point. And what we have to do is find a happy medium. And to be honest with you folks out there, there's really no happy medium. You just got to get rid of the paper bag feelings and say it just like it is.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You cannot resolve anything when you don't want to have it resolved. Because one, I really don't want to hear it, at the time that you coming at me. And then it begins to be a tit for tat situation.
Yeah.
So you aggravated me, and I know you. So I'm waiting to the right time, and I'm gonna say to you, I was trying to talk to you earlier. I ain't trying to hear it right now. Yeah, but you gonna hear it. You know. And the thing of it is, we have little menial things that we allow to catch root and grow.
Mhm.
for the simple fact that we didn't tell each other the truth from the beginning. That's the whole thing. We didn't tell it, we were more into impressing one another, finding out what the other one liked, and then giving into some things that you didn't want to give into because I'm really feeling you, and then over time this is supposed to change. But in the midst of all that, it was a whole lie because I was just trying to lock you down. And now that you feel like you got me locked down, all of what was happening is not happening no more. And now we got that love hate thing going on. You didn't do it, so I ain't gonna do it. And now we realize, wait, we done got a little too deep in this. But then who gonna give in?
Right. And, you know, in that, a lot of the heated fellowship and a lot of the arguments, the reason why you cannot communicate without going to an argument is because of those hidden feelings, those hurt feelings that you've harbored, that ill will that you've harbored all of these things. And so now that the heated fellowship has gotten really intense, and we start with trying to have a conversation, but that one thing really just pokes the bear, and when it pokes the bear, now the bear is angry, and so now I'm going to just unload with everything that I have harbored. Sometimes what happens is when these arguments and these things begin to take place, we do not resolve it. As you said, I don't want to resolve it at this point because now, I'm going to tuck this away. This is going to go in my reservoir. So when the heated fellowship comes up again, this is going to be my ammunition. This is what I'm going to unload on you. And so we have to stop keeping score for one.
Okay, you said unload. I like that. So you got both barrels cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And a reserve.
And a reserve
And a
too.
reserve.
Okay.
Extra clip. A lot of times.
So you see, women have an extra clip. When the man say, "Okay, let me show you a subtle difference between a man and a woman." We get in an argument and we're not really feeling that. So what is his go-to? Let's cuddle and be romantic. See, y'all see that face? Y'all seen that right there? You seen that, didn't you? Right? But this is the thing that worked before. So why isn't it working now?
Right. Because we have actually gotten past that stage. Because as you said before, it was a thing back then.
Oh, okay, okay.
Back then, it was a thing to where here we are. We have, we've had a little heated fellowship. And so yeah, it's called makeup sex. That's how men look at it. Okay, so the sex is supposed to make everything better. It's supposed to just cancel out all the arguments and all of that. And so for a period of time, we may have went for that. We may have been like, okay, well, yeah, but I'm still mad. I've still harbored these feelings because this sex didn't resolve anything. And so I'm to the point where I'm just gonna put this in my reservoir because I'm still gonna wait. Because after the sex is over, after you didn't had your high moments and all of this stuff right here, I'm still mad.
Okay.
And I still want to deal with this, but you don't want to deal with it because you saying, "Oh, that's over. We just settled that. We just settled that." When we got up, that was a done deal. But that's not how women look at it.
But okay, in essence, if you allow this, the only way you don't let nothing get started is don't let it get started. So don't start off the relationship. Okay, it was good and it's over with, and then you took it and tucked it away. That's the first part of building or planting a seed.
True.
Now, when a man comes into a relationship and he says, "No, I ain't having that. We ain't doing this. This is what it is," and he being 100 with you, you look and you digress a little bit, but because I'm really feeling him, okay, I'm good with that. But now that I have him, now I'm gonna start bringing up some stuff that I really didn't like because he ain't going nowhere, but he need to know this. And he looking at you like, where'd this come from? So If you had not lied from the beginning, we wouldn't have had that. Because if you tell the truth from the beginning, then I already know she ain't gonna put up with that. She don't like that, and I don't like this, and we don't like this. Because here's where the man has a problem. You brought that in our eyesight from that other relationship.
Mm.
See,
Well,
I'm not him.
okay. Okay. So that is a two-sided coin.
Well, let's flip it then. Flip it.
It's a two-sided coin because we both
Uh-huh.
bring things into a relationship, not thinking that what we had with somebody else previously
Mm-hmm.
is in the past. That was a different individual. So it was different situations, different circumstances. What one may have been willing to give up or to give in and to basically compromise, I may not be willing to do that. And so you can't come here and try to run this house hoppo like you ran that house. That's not how it goes because I'm different. And so this is what we have to understand
That's my whole
because
point.
we both do the same thing, men and women. We bring our old stuff into new relationships and we try to build around the old stuff and it's contaminated.
Yeah.
So you are building on contaminated soil. You're building on contamination. And a lot of times that contamination causes the decay in your relationship and your marriages because of the simple fact that you never wanted to deal with the issue back then so that you could heal and move on with someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said heal. Okay, so why is it that when you get together and me as a man, because a lot of men that I've talked to said that I told her what I went through. I told her what I liked and what I disliked, what she did and what she didn't do. And this is what I'm looking for because this is why it did not work. Why is it that at that point the female said, "Oh, we're gonna do it like this, okay? Because I already know this what it take to lock that down, and we good." But see, why lock it down instead of just telling the truth?
Exactly. And that's the whole point. Because when the information is shared, a lot of times it's shared between the sheets. Number one, the man shares these things because it's a between the sheets or let's get in between the sheet
There you go.
conversation.
Okay,
And
okay.
so I'm going to tell you everything that she didn't do because that's what I want you to do. And I know if you digging me like that, you gonna do what she didn't do because you trying to lock. And so in that sense, the man is getting just what he's asking for and probably more. But then once the locking has taken place,
Uh-huh.
now it's like, okay, well, I got it now. You know what? I don't have to do all that stuff anymore. But that's because a lot of relationships is built on pretense. It's not built on love. It's not built on trying to build a relationship, learning each other, or trying to get to know each other. It's built on that pillow talk between the sheets and all of that. So you really don't have a foundation. It's just a fly by night thing. I'm trying to lock this down. And when I lock it down, I'm good. Because a lot of times, men they give the information because they're looking for that result. But what happens is you just gave the ammunition to be used against you in the future, and vice versa. When a woman does the same thing, there are many women out there that we have actually had conversations with, we have counseled with, we have tried to talk them through various stages in relationships and marriages. And basically, that's what it was. They saw an opportunity. This is a good man, this is a hardworking man. Oh, and She act like she don't appreciate him. So now I'm gonna get close enough to where I can find out everything that I need to know to make it work in my advantage. Because you know what? This man make paper, baby. He
Mm.
make paper. So she don't know how to deal with it. I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Oh, she don't want to cook. Oh, I'm gonna start off cooking every day, and then when you lock it down, cook what? You better go get a sandwich. What you mean cook?
So how you, in the midst of all that talking about what you mean cook, then you wonder why the man goes somewhere else. See, here's the thing: men and women can look at I'm a man. I can look at a woman and her walk tells me a whole lot about that situation. Boy, ain't nothing going on over there. And a woman can look at a man and tell too from his actions. Because when a man is being satisfied, I see you, but I ain't saw you. Because that's not where my mind at. See? But whenever I'm not being taken care of in any manner, every time you look, in your mind you thinking, oh, from the way she looked and the way she carried herself. Now that's what I'm talking about. I see how him and her interact, and that's what why can't I have that? You see? And then when we get together to find out about what's going on with us, nobody's trying to give in. Because you know what? I want you to hear me, but you're not hearing me. You heard me, but you didn't hear me. And we're not talking. We're talking at each other, and then it gets worse heated. Then we start hitting below the belt about this, that, and the third. And then in essence, when the relationship is dissolved, you broken, you hurt, you've been battered and you bruised, and you looking like, why did they do me like that? But it's how you started it off.
Right.
If you tell the truth, see, if we get past this retardedness, like I like to call it, talking about I locked and I did this, that. See, we're past the pillow talk. No, we're gonna get this here off rip from the okay, because the physical gonna come. Because I always looked at it a certain way. There's a few things you can get in a relationship. You can get all mine and no behind. You can get all behind and no mind. But in some cases, you get both. And if you being a man, most of the time, you mess it up because this is just too good to be true. But if you were lucky enough or blessed enough to get it back, then you trying to make sure it's right. But then there's a trust issue again.
Right.
So therefore, let's talk about it first. Let's get a conversation going on. Stop looking to the left and look to the let's talk about each other. What's
Right.
really happening? You know, tell the truth and be true to thyself. Then you can be true to this next individual that you with. Because this lock and trying to get right, it ain't gonna get right. Because one, you ain't if you started off telling like you ain't gonna never tell the whole truth.
And that's true. And so that's where the actual point of we love each other, but we can't communicate because we cannot have that one honest conversation, which should have been the first conversation that ever took place. Because anytime you started off with a lie, you got to keep trying to keep that lie up.
Right.
Because if not, then we're looking at the fact that, you came in this deceptive. You came in this knowing that this was your intention. This is what you wanted to do. This was your desire. And now here we are at this point in the relationship. We done had heated fellowship. Now I've laid it all out here, all the things that I harbored, all the unresolved hurts, all the harbored wounds, and all of these things that I have kept in my reservoir. Now it begins to become a problem because now everything that you do is on my nerve.
That's because you've allowed your receptacle to get full of ammunition instead of filling it up with love, truth, honesty, and oneness.
Mhm.
See, we say that, but how you living it.
Right.
Because here's the thing: 9 times out of 10, in most relationships, either he loves her more than she loves him, and vice versa. It's very rare that I love you that much, and I love you as much as you love me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know this to be a true fact, but I always believe that opposites attract. I'm dark skinned, you light skinned. I like what I see, you like what you see, and we good. But when we both looking at, we both the same color, we both got that. Okay, how can I really, really be into you like that right now? For real, I see me. If one of us got to be that, because when I'm looking like, yeah, okay, and then you should be, yeah, okay, and it's not that because I'm not getting that same vibe, you know. But you got to have that resolve to where you know what I'm gonna be 100 with you. I'm gonna make this. This is what it is. But don't look at me because you know I'm 100 and you've been through this. So you know what? I don't trust you. So I ain't gonna let everything go. I'm not gonna be vulnerable. Out of scale of from 1 to 10, you might get 6.5. But I'm gonna act like you got that 10 though.
Wow. Okay, y'all. We're going to tap into that when we come back. We're going to a commercial break, y'all. Stay tuned because we're going to tap into this vulnerability thing and this holding back in relationships. So, y'all just hang tight for a few minutes and we'll be right back.
Here in this place, we humbly bow, our hearts away. Speak to us now. There is no time here, only your presence. Show us your glory. Speak to us now. Speak to us now. Whoa. Here in this place, we humbly bow, our hearts away. Speak, Lord. There is no time here, only your presence. Speak to us now. Oh Lord. Ooh. Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit.
All right, we're back. Talking about that thing that Apostle just said about being vulnerable. He mentioned the fact that sometimes we come into the relationship being 100, but the other individual that we're in the relationship with, they're not totally 100 with us, but they pretend.
There you go.
They pretend to be 100. And you gave a scale. You said of a 10, it may be a 6. And so this is what we have to understand because our question tonight was what if your healing comes from one honest conversation? That one honest conversation can be sitting down and having what is a hard conversation of honesty and saying what it really is. Because a lot of times people they hook up for convenience. They don't hook up for love anymore. They hook up for convenience because I'm looking for someone to take care of me. I'm looking for someone that is going to do what I say because I've been in a relationship and I was hurt, I was abused, I was this, I was that. But in the end, now that I know that you really feeling me and you really digging me, I got one.
You
I
got
got
one.
one. So now the tables are turned, and I see this a lot in women. And it's a shame, and I'm just gonna say it. It's a shame because women are acting more like men in relationships. As when I say the one who, you know how a man be like, okay, yeah, I know she crazy about me or whatever, so I'm gonna hit it and quit it, and I'm gonna have her chasing me like somebody that's crazy with a flashlight in the daytime. You have women that's doing the same thing. They get into relationships with people and they realize that these people really feeling them. They really feeling them, but you're not feeling them like you pretending to be feeling them. They giving you 100, but you're not giving 100 because all you're really trying to do is get your needs met. But the honesty in the conversation is if you would ever tell the truth, because basically, when he is not able to provide those needs or meet those needs for you, you're going to move on to the next thing, to the next man, and still maybe be in this marriage or in this relationship to go get those needs met. And then you're going to start ghosting him.
That's exactly right. And then here's the thing: the same way that you ghosting the man that you know is feeling you, gonna do whatever it takes to try to keep you to the best of their ability. You going over here with John Boy, hanging out, chilling, cause you know he looks so good, he smells so nice, he riding so this, that, and the third, still staying with mama. But then whenever the shine is gone, you want to come back here to old boy. And you want him to be that same 100 with you. And something 9 times out of 10, because he felt you like that, he is. But he gonna come back. But then every now and then it flipped. Because you know what? He went through something. And he understands now. All right, I'm gonna tolerate till I dominate. Yep. Now you feel like, oh, you did this and you did that, but what was you doing? What did you? How did you come in this relationship? Then the truth get to coming out. Then it's like you being hit below the belt. But in essence, you can't be mad at the man when you started.
Right.
If you don't like him, you just don't like him.
Exactly. And I was thinking that because the thing is that you have to learn how to have the real hard conversations, the real hard conversations. And so we can laugh about this now because when I was being pursued or stalked or whatever you was doing, I did not like him. I did not. I did not like him. I didn't like him riding, walking, talking, nothing. I did not like him. I would avoid him at all costs. I would see him coming to my job. And I was the manager of the store. And sometimes I would be stuck working by myself because people called in or whatever. And I would forget that I'm the only person in there. And I'll go to the cooler just to keep from being bothered with him. And then he would laugh and say, well, you got to come help me. And I'd be like, golly, why this old dirty man won't just leave me alone? And that's the thing, because there came a point in time when we really started sitting down and just really talking to each other, because he would say when he saw me, the first thing that came to his mind is, this is going to be my wife. And he even said that, and I'm like, whatever. No, you dirty. No. And not that he was dirty in a nasty way. He was dirty because he was a working man. And I'm looking like, this man come in looking like a dirt dauber every time he come in this store, and he be trying to holler at me, sir. I don't, go on now, because I ain't got time. And I would act some kind of way every single time I would see him. But the thing about it is, he knew in his mind that I was his wife. He told me that from the beginning. Do you know who you're looking at? You're looking at your husband. And I'm like, whatever. Okay, yeah. All right. You on some other stuff that I'm not on. So you need to get on. But when we really got together and started having conversations about stuff like that, I had to really be honest, because he was like, You really didn't like me, did you? No, no, I didn't. And then he was like, well, when did you start loving me? And I would be crazy to say, oh, well, from the beginning. The devil is a lie, and you just told one. No, you did not love that person from the beginning. And so that's where we have to understand we got to stop lying, because that's what's really tearing down a lot of our marriages and our relationships, because we lie. We don't want to just tell the honest, brutal truth. Everybody that got together, both parties were not totally 100% in love with the other person when they got together. Some of us, y'all, us, y'all, we were on the rebound. Some of
And
us was looking for somebody to fill a void.
and a lot of it also is lust.
That
Lust of the eyes, lust
looking
of the
for a
flesh, fire.
firefighter.
Yeah, put that fire out. But in the midst of all that, the part she happened to miss, y'all, was simply this right here. I said to her, and I tell you what, if I come here and you don't know who I am, because I clean up really well, go out with me and we have a conversation. And I told her the whole truth. You see, that was the key right there. Just telling the truth. Because see, sometimes you can look at the outward appearance and think like that ain't it. And you being wrecked your whole world. And that's a two-way street. You know, because honestly, if you were to talk about a man, and if I seen a woman that did the work that I do come in, I would have felt the same way. Oh my God, no. But I work in dirt. I was on the ground work. I was deep getting that money. But I clean up well. You can always wash the dirt off. But if you come into it 100, have a conversation, a real conversation with an individual, then you can know who you're talking to, because I can look like a donkey, but whenever you talk to me, wow, you got a conversation. You got something going on. Your brain works, you know. But the key to it, like I tell you, just tell the truth.
Exactly.
I've been approached a lot of times. How did you know all these different ladies and these different women? I said, because a woman, I asked them one couple questions, and one of them is this. I say, are you a woman or are you a lady? And I said, just like that. And the first thing, oh, I'm a lady. I said, that's what I thought. And I walk away. And they said, well, I said I was a lady. I said, yeah, but God made a woman. And that's what a man wants. And a real woman wants what? A real man.
Exactly.
And until you learn to be one of those two things that God made, you still playing with yourself. See, we don't want something that man made. Oh, that's lady this and that's lady that. No, no. That woman over there, that's my woman. That's my man. You understand? I hear a lot of people say, oh, first lady this and first lady that. I say, yeah, but throughout history, from my studies, it's only one first. It's only ever been one first. And her name was Eve. And after that, it was second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. So stop allowing the world to dictate to you what you think it should be. Talk to her. Let her talk to you. Be true to thyself, and to thyself be true. Then you can be true to somebody else. Okay. Because you know what? She can look good as all outdoors, so fine. Everything smells so good to make your whole hair start growing again. But then you could get a whole loof because of what your eyes see. Yes. Because we all can put on a facade. But when we get down to the real nitty gritty, after all the highlight and the sparkles is gone, I do this right here. Oh my God! What that you?
Exactly, when the mask comes off.
When the mask comes off.
And the thing is, we have and we wear so many different masks that many of us don't even know our own true identity. We are basically living a lie. We have masks that we started putting on as children. Mm-hmm. And as we progressed in life, we continue to add to those masks. So we have a mask for every occasion. We have a mask for our families. We have a mask for our jobs. We have a mask for the public. We have a mask for ministry. We have all these different masks that we wear. And so when you really and truly allow the healing to begin, that means that you got to take these masks off. You got to take them off. You know, that's like the pretense of I make you think that my face is flawless. I don't have any blemishes or anything because I have makeup on and my makeup is flawless and I have this beautiful skin. But then one day you happen to see me or catch me without my makeup on and I have my skin is not what it has appeared all this time. And so you looking like, where the devil did you come from? You know what is this? Because you have made this image, you have this facade, and I fell in love with the facade. I fell in love with the mask,
Correct.
not
Correct.
the person. And so this is what we have to understand: when you can just be real and be real with yourself, and having the hard conversations, having that one honest conversation that starts healing, it's not always good.
It's not pretty at all.
No, it's not, because when the truth comes out, a lot of times we don't want to hear the truth. But you know what? You have to sit and you have to be grown enough.
That's it.
To allow your partner to tell the truth.
The whole truth.
Whether the truth hurts you or whatever, not interrupting, not just constantly everything that they say you got a rebuttal for it or you have a word for it. It was one thing that our son used to do. He would call his own family meeting. Can we have a family meeting? And so I'm like, okay, let's have a family meeting. So what he would do is he has a list and he comes with all his list of issues. And so he wants to lay out his issues. And the thing is, this is what we do as adults as well. Because every issue that he had, he assumed that he knew what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. So he presents his issue and then he sits back because he's waiting for my reply or my rebuttal, because it's like, I'm gonna say this and then you're gonna say that. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we operate in our marriages. Sometimes we assume that we know what our partner is gonna say. So when I say this, they're gonna come back with that. And then when they come back with that, then I'll come back with this. But sometimes you throw them a whole curveball because you allow them to go through their list. You don't say a word. And then they are dumbfounded because now they're like, well, you ain't gonna say nothing. No, I'm gonna allow you to finish. I'm gonna allow you to speak because I want you to speak your truth. I do not want to obscure your point of view. I don't want to interject anything, because when I can sit quietly, first of all, your mind don't know what's going to take place next, because you assuming, you so accustomed to you having one word and I have five before you can get the next one in. But no, a true honest conversation means that I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen.
So you're going to have a monologue, not a dialogue.
Until it's my turn to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to listen, because that's the thing that we lose. And that's one reason why we have the heated fellowships and the arguments, and that we cannot talk because we can't communicate, so we can't heal, is because of the simple fact that we always want to interject. Mm-hmm. And so nothing ever gets accomplished because you say one thing and I'm going to interject my point, and then it becomes an argument because you were talking and I was not listening. I want to talk too. And so now we're not talking to each other. We're talking at each other. And then that becomes a whole nother issue, because now my point is more important than what you were talking about. And a lot of times the individual that started the conversation, that really wanted to have the conversation and get to the truth, they just shut down and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done, because of the simple fact that I see now we cannot have a conversation.
Because of what's being said. The Bible tells us study to be quiet. That means listen. And
Exactly.
every conversation doesn't deserve a rebuttal. But if you really want to get to the meat or the heart of the matter, you got to listen. And here's the thing, before you get into the conversation the way we're going to talk, and you okay, you say what you got to say. Don't look all crazy like, oh, I'm just waiting and I'm going to say what you got to say. No, be calm. Keep a straight face and be open minded and grown enough to listen.
Yes.
Listen to everything they have to say. And if you can't think of it throughout the week, write this down, write that down. So when our conversation come, okay, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna get mad because one thing about it, you telling your truth.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna listen to everything you say. I'm not gonna take it to heart, but I'm gonna listen. But at the same time, now remember, I got a rebuttal for that now. And it's not gonna be a rebuttal to combat what you say, but I'm gonna say what's on my mind, what's on my heart. And then we can address what you've said about this and what I said about that, and love each other enough to realize that you know what, we're grown and we're different, and
Yes.
we're not the people we used to be.
Exactly.
I used to like this and I used to like that, but I don't like that no more. And I need to know that you're the same way. So if we don't know how to communicate or have a conversation and not willing to listen, then you can't heal. The healing begins when we begin to look at each other and truly talk.
Yes.
People say the same thing it took to get them is the same thing it took to keep them, and that's the biggest lie, because it's not. Because you lied to get them. But now you're trying to lie to keep them. But if you tell the truth, then that'll do it, and things change.
Yes.
You don't believe me? Look at the clothes that you used to wear when you first got together as opposed to what you wear now.
That's true. And the thing is, we can't assume that we know what our partner is going to say.
Exactly.
You cannot put words in their mouth, because what you may be feeling that they should be feeling about a certain situation or something that you did, they may feel totally opposite. So you can't just assume, well, it was just this one little thing, so why are you so mad about that? Because it's their feelings and it's how they feel about what you did or what you said. And so that's why it's really important to listen. And so it's not a thing, because a lot of times when we get into heated fellowship, the first thing that we say is like, are you listening to me? And our response is, I hear you.
I hear you,
I hear you. You didn't say that you were listening. You said you hear me. So you know what? You can be sitting in a room right now and we're on, and you hear us, but you have other background noise that you really listening to.
In other words, you heard us, but you didn't hear us.
Exactly. We have to become active listeners. That means that you have to listen to every word that is being spoken without interjecting, without putting your point in there, without trying to curve the conversation or take the conversation in another direction. When we really want to heal, we will sit, we will have that one honest conversation. We will actively listen to our partners so that we know how to help ourselves, and stop always praying and asking God to change them. Ask God to change you. Because we have a tendency of that. Lord, change them, change them, change them. No, you need to be changed. When you change, then they will change. But change starts with you. And if you always feel that you don't have a problem, everybody else has the problem, you're in a bad situation. You need to be changed. And so we really tonight we really wanted to tap into this, and we actually may continue this conversation later, because of the simple fact is so much that we can talk about, because we love each other, but we can't communicate. And the reason why we can't communicate is because we will not sit down and have that one honest conversation to begin the healing process.
Truly, because we don't know how to talk to one another. We talk at each other. And actually, we're afraid to say the whole truth.
Yes.
You'll say this in hopes that they caught it. But I was over 30 some years ago, somebody told me, and I happened to marry them, I don't take hints. You want something from me, say it, ask me. Because hinting, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I could guess the wrong thing.
Exactly.
That's true. So if you're grown, just say what it is. Now, understand, realize, and know, yeah, you got feelings just like they do. Ask the right questions. You go and say, well, I'm going to get this for her or him. And they get it, oh, thank you. But that's not what their heart wanted. And you know it. I took my time to do this and you didn't even want that. Well, did you actually ask me what I want? Now, if you couldn't afford to get it, that's cool. But at least you asked. So then you won't be feeling some type of way, because you can't get mad at a person whenever you didn't get them what they wanted. Because that's what you wanted for me.
Right.
Not what I wanted for me. I went through that too. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. And then the question, I didn't ask for that.
Right.
And after I thought about it, I was like, you're right. I wanted that for you. But you know what? From now on, if you don't get nothing, it's not because I wouldn't get it. It's because you didn't tell me what you wanted. You see, we have to learn to communicate.
Yes.
I might like steak and you like pork chop. I like chicken and I like the cluck cluck. And I done had enough cluck cluck. I don't want cluck cluck.
Right.
We got to talk so the healing can begin.
Yes. And communication is key in any relationship, whether it's a marriage, relationship, business, partnership. Communication is the key. So remember, marriage is not perfect, but healing is always available. And so we're going to bid you good night. And we thank you for joining us for Let the Healing Begin. We will see you back here on the first Sunday for another episode of Let the Healing Begin. Have an awesome night.
You're listening to the sound.
Marriage isn't always perfect, but healing is always possible. Welcome to Let the Healing Begin with